Good morning, Unity Halton Peel. Good morning, everyone on social media. Welcome to our Sunday gathering. It is the long weekend of August 2025, and I, for one, am pumped. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, and let's get together and have a little time to let the week that has been just be in the past and what is coming to be in the future, and it can wait for us, and just spend some time together in fellowship and community and maybe learn a little something while we're at it. Our mission here at Unity Halton Peel is to lovingly inspire a transformation and be of service to the world. And someone asked me about this the other day, and they were concerned. They said, well, does that mean I need to do more volunteering just because I don't know that I have time for that? And my answer to that is no, it's about holding your heart in a space for the world. Even just doing prayer work on a daily basis can bring such incredible blessings to this world and add to the harmony and prosperity and wholeness of this world. And I think we can agree that there feels like there's a need for that right now. So it's not so much about outward action. It can be, but being of service can be willing to be that who looks at the hard parts of the world and holds them in sacred space rather than turning away. So just a little thought for you there. And now I'll call on Margaret to please read our daily word for today.
Thank you, Wendy. Truth. Truth is the topic for today's daily word. I speak my truth with clarity and compassion. Living in an increasingly polarized world, I'm aware not everyone will share my perspective or see life the way I do. As much as I want to live harmoniously with others, I also want to stand up for what I believe. And I know is true for me. I appreciate that others feel the same way about their beliefs. I speak my truth. I center myself in my divinity while acknowledging the divinity of all others. I'm honest and grounded, staying steady if someone does not agree with me. Likewise, I receive others' truths as I would want them to receive mine. The presence of God is within me. I am a spiritual being living with integrity, speaking words of truth and spiritual power. These things that you shall do, speak the truth to one another, render your gates and judgments that are true, and make for peace. The Kirtha, verse 8:16.
Thank you so much. Okay, I just have to say it. Anybody else seeing Finding Nemo in the cover of Daily Word, or is it just me? Uh, all right. I just felt this song was needed today. So um, it has a bit of a silent intro, so just take a deep breath and let's affirm this for each other.
It's in every one of us to be wise. Find your heart, open up both your eyes. We can know everything without ever knowing why. And it's in every one of us by and by. It's in every one of us to be wise. Find just remembered. It's like I've been sleeping for years. I'm not awake as I can be, but my seeing's better. I can see through the tears. I've been realizing that I bought this ticket and watching only half of the show. But there is scenery and lights and a cast of thousands who won't know what I know. And it's good that it's so. It's in every one of us to be wise. Find your heart, open up both your eyes. We can all know everything without effort knowing why. It's in every one of us, by and by. It's in every one of us, by and by.
Ah, I do love that song. Our affirmation for 2025. We at Unity Halton Peel are blessed with an abundantly thriving community. And by this, we not only mean that we as a spiritual community are thriving, but we as individuals are thriving as well, that we are learning how to express ourselves and be in our truth, as our daily word said today. And we affirm for each other and for ourselves that this is done. As always, blessings, August babies. Uh, may you have a wonderful celebration of your year and a wonderful year ahead. Our thought for the month of August is I am healthy. In each moment, miracles are taking place in my body. Our monthly prayer list for the month of August, Unity Center of de Montreal and Unity Worldwide Spiritual Institute, which is where we train Unity licensed teachers and Unity ministers and provide education for anyone who's curious about the Unity movement. Our August affirmations, just a little piece of information, you'll be seeing the fullness of this picture. This is how Unity looked, World Headquarters looked in the 1920s. And all of the buildings that you can see are part of the Unity complex. And the only building that is still standing is the church. Everything else has been torn down. So a moment in time. So our first affirmation for inner peace. My mind and heart are steeped in peace. And let's just take a moment to take these words within. My mind and heart are steeped in peace. For wisdom, centered in divine wisdom, I discern my next steps. Centered in divine wisdom, I discern my next steps. For life, attuned to infinite vitality, I thrive. Attuned to infinite vitality, I thrive. For prosperity, I live richly in appreciation. I live richly in appreciation. And for worth, I am a divine human, worthy and wondrous. I am a divine human, worthy and wondrous. The reason you were seeing the Unity headquarters as they were in the 20s is because both of our co-founders were born in the month of August, and I always try and bring some history in, just to let you folks know, where we've come from, where we've been as a movement. Now you just saw this slide. This is basically my talk title, talking about I am healthy, because when all is said and done, Unity's roots run very deeply into healing and prayer. Our co-founders, or certainly Myrtle, experienced a healing that didn't make sense to the doctors around her, didn't make sense to people around her. Having been given a terminal diagnosis of maybe 6 more months to live with tuberculosis, she not only healed her body of that, but she went on to have a third child at a relatively elderly age for pregnancy. She was 42. And one of the things that comes out of this, there's two things actually. Uh, One of them is Charles, who was a very intellectual man and was very scientific and very logical, was watching what his wife was doing, what she was doing with her prayer life, what she was doing with the foods she ate, and seeing that her body was improving, that she was gaining strength, that she was becoming something different than she had been, and certainly not someone on death's door. And so he began to practice the same techniques that she had been using. And 3 years after the birth of their son and the birth of the Unity movement, they happened in the same year, 1889, Charles and Myrtle wrote a dedication and covenant because they decided that spiritual work would be their sole work. Charles gave up his business working in real estate, and actually, if you go to Kansas City, Missouri, you can find a subdivision that he actually laid out. The streets are named after family members. But they both decided that they would dedicate themselves 100% to the teachings of unity and the spiritual truths that they had discerned. So you might ask, what was Myrtle's secret? Well, it was twofold. First of all, she asked her body to forgive it, to forgive her for thinking things that were in error, for accepting unconsciously the belief that she had to have tuberculosis because it ran in the family. And don't we all have things like that in our families that, oh, well, diabetes runs in our family, heart disease runs in our family, alcoholism runs in our family. Myrtle gave us the tools to say, no, it stops with me. So Myrtle spent time seeking out the parts of her body and saying to her body, forgive me. I was wrong. I see you as whole and free. And to me, it's amazing because it's very similar to some other techniques that folks have learned. And it's very similar to some of the things that scientists are saying we need to do to let go of negativity, to let go of our misheld beliefs. And that's not to blame or shame, because especially if you're being told by someone who is an adult, an authority figure who you trust, whether it's someone in your family or a teacher in your schooling, you're going to take that in. And Myrtle taught us that no, you can say, you know what? I might have taken that in, but I've changed my mind and it doesn't work for me anymore. So I invite you to take those two tools with you. The document here. I was originally going to go more into how they healed, because Charles too adopted Myrtle's technique and saw some improvement in his own health and well-being. But I decided that the dedication and covenant doesn't get enough attention. And I say that because it's something that we can take and do ourselves, regardless of where we are at on our path of spiritual growth. And because Charles's handwriting sometimes can be difficult to read, I've provided the text for you. And if you're unable to read the text because the screen's too small or there's an issue, let me read it to you. We, Charles Fillmore and Myrtle Fillmore, husband and wife, hereby dedicate ourselves, our time, our money, all we have and all we expect to have, to the Spirit of Truth, and through it, to the Society of Silent Unity. It being understood and agreed that the said Spirit of Truth shall render unto us an equivalent for this dedication, in peace of mind, health of body, wisdom, understanding, love, life, and an abundant supply of all things necessary to meet every want, without making any of these things the object of our existence. In the presence of the conscious mind of Christ, this 7th day of December, Anno Domini 1892, and then it's signed by Charles and Myrtle. So I'd like to go through this with you folks and just take it apart a bit. So I I know oftentimes I'll have great slides and pictures and things, but today I'm going to go a little bit more intellectual because as I worked this through in one of my classes when I was training, there were some big ahas for me, and I hope that there will be for you as well. So the first part, they identify themselves. It's kind of like a legal document. In fact, in many ways, there could be an argument that it is a legally binding contract the way that they've worded it. And Charles would have known a thing or two about legally binding contracts. He had worked, as I said, in real estate. He had been an assayer. He had done a lot of things that had legal implications and paperwork involved. So they dedicate ourselves. So who I am, the uniqueness that I am, our time, what I'm going to do with this time that I have on this planet, our money, what I'm going to do with not only my money, but whatever resources I have. It may be that I have some extra crops growing in my garden and I want to share it. You know, when the zucchini comes in, you know, that's when people start sneaking out at night and putting zucchinis on their neighbors' porches, right? And if you've ever grown zucchinis, you know whereof I speak. All we have and all we expect to have. So it's not about this instant with a snapshot, it's also about what future blessings will come. To the Spirit of Truth. Now, this is a phrase, the Spirit of Truth was a term that sometimes they used instead of God because God has so much baggage to it. And what they understood was that God for them was not someone in the sky, but rather a principle, a understanding. In many ways, as I facilitate the training of up and coming ministers and licensed unity teachers, one of the things I draw parallels to is there are a lot of things that the Fillmores were teaching that draw parallels into quantum physics and our understanding of how things happen and why things happen. And by 1892, they had developed what they called the Society of Silent Unity. Let me just go off on a little sidetrack here because it's important to understand what it is that they're saying. They're using the organization to provide some structure. So the Society of Silent Help, which is what it was originally called, it became the Society of Silent Unity at a later time. So this is a clipping out of um, their newsletter. Whosoever may join the society. The only requirement being that members shall sit in a quiet, retired place, if possible, at the hour of 10 o'clock every night, and hold in silent thought for not less than 15 minutes the words that shall be given each month by the editor of this department. The difference in the solar time between widely separated places will not materially interfere with the result, for to spirit there is neither time nor space. Hence, each member should sit at 10 p.m. local time. Now, for some people, even today, this is kind of mind-blowing because there are some groups that believe that you have to pray in person. So you can imagine what the pandemic and the lockdowns did. If the only way you can pray is in person, And suddenly you're being told by the government and the experts that you need to be separate and you need to be online in order to be safe. That kind of blows some ideas up, doesn't it? And certainly in Myrtle and Charles's time in the 1800s, this is when we get some shifts in what is Christianity as well in the US and by extension in Canada. And the idea that you can do a healing without actually physically touching the person or being in the same room with them was something that hadn't really gained traction. And for her to say there is no time or space, do it at 10 o'clock your local time, was something that was, for some people, that was kind of bizarre. That was, no, you have to pray you have to all pray together. And it's really interesting for me to see how this idea has developed. So in the weekly Unity magazine and the monthly Unity magazines, they would have, as we still do today, the affirmations for the month. And that's part of the reason that I've been bringing them into our services and our gatherings, because it's part of our heritage. It's a very early part of our heritage, having 5 statements that everyone in the Unity movement can share each month whenever we choose to look at them and take them in. At some point, you could also get yourself a certificate of membership. You have been enrolled a member of the Society of Silent Unity, this certificate being a symbol only of a record not made with hands, eternal in the heavens. The Helper, even the Holy Spirit, the Father now sends to you in the name of the Son. He will teach you all things and bring to your consciousness the glory and dominion which was yours from the beginning. Keep the unity of spirit in the bond of peace unto the building of the body of Christ, until we all attain unto the unity of the faith and of the knowledge of the Son of God, the Society of Silent Unity, and then it was pre-signed by Charles and Myrtle. So all you had to do was say, please send me a certificate and I will participate. We didn't have a requirement. There was nobody checking up on you to see if you had, been participating. And for some folks, that languaging is a bit archaic. It feels a bit dated. It feels a bit different from how Unity does a lot of its wording now. But this wasn't a church. This was just a prayer group. And I don't mean just in a derogatory sense. Their intention was not to set up a new church or denomination. It was to provide support above and beyond whatever it was that you participated in. And even today, there are folks who will attend other services in addition to Unity, or they will attend the Unity if some ministries have a midweek prayer service. They will attend the Unity midweek prayer service and go someplace else on Sundays. And that's perfectly fine. We do not expect you to give up any path that you have been on or are on. As it says right here, those who become members of the Society of Silent Unity are at liberty to belong to any church or other organization if they so desire. I have been blessed in my path in Unity for over 40 years. I have had folks who are following a path of Judaism and Islam who have come to Unity on a regular basis because they appreciate the community that we provide. Or in both of those cases, I'm thinking to people specifically, they were not allowed in their culture to study scriptures and they wanted to learn more. So they came to Unity to learn more. All right, so that's the organization. It wasn't about I'm going to be a minister. It wasn't about I'm going to be a spiritual leader. It was about I'm just going to be a prayer leader and I'm going to share that gift with the world. So they continue, it being understood and agreed that the said Spirit of truth shall render unto us an equivalent for this dedication, in peace of mind, health of body, wisdom, understanding, love, life, and an abundant supply of all things necessary to meet every want, without making any of these things the object of our existence. So let's break into this. So here we have an affirmation that the physical needs will be provided. Mental health, physical health. We'll also have the physical outer needs met. One of the things that has been written about Myrtle is that she was always very nicely dressed. And yet she didn't seem to be in, needing the latest Vogue, rated styles. Indeed, when she became aware that it was her time to leave her earthly body, she actually gave things away. She gave away jewelry. She gave away scarves. She gave away trinkets that she knew were significant to people because she wasn't attached to them. And then we have spiritual gifts. Now, Charles would later say that there were 12 spiritual gifts, but let's look at these four. These are really important ones. Wisdom, the ability to figure out what's important and what's not. The ability to move out of the clutter and the noise and the cacophony and say, what is mine to do in the midst of all of this? The understanding, the ability to figure out what is that we're looking at. Sometimes what we're looking at, and sometimes when we have a discussion with someone, as our daily word said today, we may not see eye to eye, but to be willing to say, I may not understand where you're coming from, but I understand that it's important to you, and I will support that. Even if I disagree, I will support your right to be who you are and believe what you believe. And then love and life, two basic essences of our spiritual life and our human life. And as I noted at the bottom, this is before Charles wrote the two books that become the 12 Powers, which, if you're new to Unity, is a format that he had trying to kind of distill all of the spiritual truths that he understood into smaller chapters, each of which is aligned with a disciple, each of which is aligned with a color that was added later by another Unity minister. And it underpins all of Charles's writings. And some folks like them, and some folks have no use for them. Myrtle wasn't too keen on it because she believed in oneness and didn't like that he was breaking out everything. I appreciate them from the standpoint of I do better in small chunks. It's not, I don't want a huge wheel of Parmesan. I just want a little piece that I can grate onto my pasta. In the presence of the conscious mind of Christ this 7th day of December. The conscious mind of Christ means different things to Unity folk than it would in the general Christian faith. Christ is a term that we use very specifically. We do not use it just to mean Jesus. We use it as a way of, as a shorthand really, for saying the divinity within each one of us. And when you see conscious mind is capitalized, that was their way of saying we're talking about the spiritual aspect, not the human aspect. So the idea that there is one mind, which Unity folk call the Christ mind, and it is available to everyone at any moment. And it is filled with everything that is known and can be known and has yet to be discovered. What I find really interesting is that was something that really attracted me to Unity, was that it wasn't just limited to one man 2,000 years ago, that we truly could tap into something greater than ourselves, and that we weren't less than. I'll just leave it there. As a historian, this document was found by accident. Their Heritage Room library was being developed. It's now called the Unity Village Archives. And they were going through Myrtle's papers, as archivists did. I trained as an archivist. I know these things. I know how excited I was when I found something in the archives, and I called the archivist over and I said, have you seen this? How did I not see this before? And she looked at me, she said, I don't remember ever seeing that. Can I take a closer look? And every so often we find things like this. So as the archivist, I'm sure she was excited to see this because nobody talked about it. They kept it hidden. So for 50 years, no one knew what the underpinnings were of Charles and Myrtle's life and how they lived their life. One of the other ministers that I explored um, also had a dedication and covenant, very similar to this. His own wife didn't know about it. He kept his dedication and covenant in his papers, and it wasn't until after he passed and she was clearing out his office that she found this. Many, if not all, of the Unity ministers, as part of this training, write what they call a credo. So, what is it that is meaningful to you? Basically, the same thing as the dedication and covenant. So, I invite you to, maybe take these ideas and write down or type out. It doesn't matter how you do it. I'm in a space right now where I'm finding it really helpful to write things, and I'm doing it in pencil so I can go back and erase because I'm on a computer and I'm on a screen so much that I'm finding my spiritual work, I need to do it by hand just to have that tactile connection. Just an aside, but if you are like me online a lot, that can often be a way of centering ourselves and bringing ourselves back into our physical body. And now it's time for some quiet meditation, but it's not going to be so quiet. This is an early picture of how the ministry looked on Tracy Avenue, the building that we saw behind our affirmations. It looks similar now. It's looking its age. It's over 100 years old. But this is, you can see, the congregation. And I invite you to get still as we listen to an actual recording of Charles Fillmore giving us the Lord's Prayer.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we also have forgiven our debtors. And leave us not in temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
And as we continue in this time of prayer, you see the arrow, Myrtle and Charles leading the 11 a.m. prayer service. And now we will hear a prayer from Myrtle.
God is my help in every need. God does my every hunger feed. God walks beside me, guides my way through every moment of the day. I now am wise, I now am true, patient, kind, and loving too. All things I am, can do and be, through Christ the truth that is in me. God is my help, I can't be sick. God is my strength unfailing quick. God is my all, I know no fear. Hence God and love and truth are here. Amen. God is
And finally, an affirmation for the month of August. I use my power of will to choose and commit to be willing. And let's just take a few moments in the silence to bless and appreciate our family, our friends, our community, our earth, to share in our heart any prayer intentions we may have in the silence. And as we come back into this space, we give thanks for all that we have, all that we are. And we know that we are a blessing to this world with every breath, with every thought, with every prayer. And so it is, and so it shall be. Amen.
When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. When I pray, I feel my soul go deeper, my soul go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my soul go deeper, my soul go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. When I pray, I feel my love go deeper, my love go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my love go deeper, my love go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God.
Oh, ah, prayer and healing, our foundation. If you're joining us online, please pay a visit to our uh, website and sign up for our newsletter so you can see what's happening. Lots will be happening in the fall. We have 5 or is it 6 courses being offered, and you are always welcome to audit. Just sit in and listen and not have to do the assignments and things. More details on that to come. It's going to be a great fall session up here in Canada. As always, we support the following organizations: the Canadian Red Cross Wildfire Fund, Unity Canada, and Eden Food for Change. And we are so grateful for your gifts to us that we can share with others. And let us take a moment, seeing our offerings and tithes and gifts of our time and our talent, and blessing them together with the phrase, divine love now flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and is a blessing wherever it goes. And I'm realizing that the slide for how to share with that is missing, and that's my fault, mea culpa. As always, our Unity prayer chaplains are available through email. You can see the email address at the bottom. And know that this is part of the Society of Silent Unity as it was, and as it has changed its name, it is still the foundational principle of the Unity movement. Next week, we welcome back Dr. Ann Theriault, licensed Unity teacher, embracing our divine heritage, the power of the inner self. Dr. Ann always has some incredible experiences to share. The following week, we are going to be blessed with my colleague and partner in crime, Debbie Long, also LUT. She's going to be sharing from a booklet called Mornings with Myrtle, 28 Days of Prayer and Possibility. As I say, Myrtle is one of my sheroes, and I look forward to Debbie's sharing with us. Mark your calendars, please. On the 24th, we will still meet on Zoom in our usual link. We will, however, link up to Unity of Hamilton. And if you are in the neighborhood and want to attend in person, please feel welcome to do so. We won't be taking attendance or anything. We're going to keep the Zoom room open just for those of us who prefer to not make the trek. And for some of us, it's farther than others. And I will be hosting, so you'll see at least one familiar face. And we'll round out the month with Reverend Dr. Jane Simmons will be back with us. She took the summer off so she could visit family, and we look forward to welcoming her back at the end of the month. Oh, there's the slide. So going back a page, Interact, e-transfers, accounting at unityhaltonpeel.ca, CanadaHelps.org. There are additional ways of giving at our website. We do accept PayPal, so please and thank you. We bless and appreciate any gift that you are willing to share to help this ministry keep on the air, as it were. All right, children's blessing. Oh dear, I've been watching the soccer teams play in the field across from me, and it's so wonderful to watch them grow up and learn how to regulate their bodies to keep that soccer ball in play and get it through the goalposts. And let's just appreciate the children in our lives in this world with our blessing, children and youth of unity and of the world. We love you, we bless you, and we appreciate you just the way you are. And we bless the inner child that remains in us, sometimes hidden, and sometimes it comes out to play. And we'll conclude with James Stillett Freeman's prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever we are, God is. I am divine. And Sue K. Riley will sing us out, as is our tradition.
Peace in my life is growing because I choose love. Love's always present, it's what I'm made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one tie that binds us, that can't be undone. I choose love. I choose love. Peace in my family is growing because I choose love. Let love be present, it's what we're made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one loving family, sharing one son. I choose love. Yes, I do. I choose love. Peace for our planet is growing because I choose love. Let love be present, it's what we're made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one choice unites us. Let this be the one. I choose love. I choose love. I choose love.
Thank you for joining us today. Have a wonderful week. We look forward to welcoming you again soon. Blessings.